Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Korlick with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, it's Adam here. Alright, so this will probably take a little while. I apologize in advance for that. I'm going to try and keep it brief, but yeah, that never really happens, does it? So, this is a video about having used the Xbox One for a week, or more accurately, basically 2 weeks now. Sorry, this took longer than I wanted it to. I did this for the PS4, so yeah. Basically, this is a sequel video. If you haven't seen my original Day One Impressions video, you kind of need to see that before this, because that pretty much covers everything, and this is just kind of my updated thoughts on a few things. So anyway, I agree with pretty much everything I said in that video. I just hate the operating system. I think it needs to be completely overhauled. I think the fucking Kinect is pointless. I mean, you know, those things need to change, especially if you want to drop the price. But let's talk about some other things I have noticed. My original analysis of the audio CD function has been updated. So originally I put Radiant Silvergun's soundtrack in there and it worked fine. And then I put in Silent Hill 3's soundtrack and that didn't work. For some reason later I put it in again and it worked fine. So it's buggy. It reads discs sometimes and not other times, I don't know. But yeah, I guess it does read any legit audio CD, at least now the ones I've tried. I haven't had that problem since, although it still wouldn't read me CDRs. Let's see. Gaming, obviously the most fucking important thing. I went ahead and picked up another game. I got Lego Marvel Superheroes for the Xbox One, obviously. I did that. It's my first multi-plat of the 8th generation, excluding anything on the Wii U. And obviously I could have got it on the PS4. I decided to go with the Xbox One mostly because of achievements and because of the Xbox Live Gold stuff. Like, I have Xbox Live Gold for the 360 I had for years. And they allow you to seamlessly transfer all of that over without paying a second time or any kind of crap like that. And that's awesome. So, for some reason achievements matter to me. And trophies don't. I don't know why, it doesn't make sense. Neither one makes sense. Liking them or, you know, and not liking the other doesn't make sense, but it's just what it is. So, yeah, that's why I got that. Now, the Xbox One, when it comes to playing games, once the games are running, it's awesome. But getting them to start is much more bullshitty than it... That's not even a fucking word. It's much more of a hassle than it needs to be. With the PS4... You pop it in, it starts updating, it starts installing, it gives you a progress bar, and it gets to a point where it says, okay, you can play it now. And then it just continues to install. Now this basically does the same thing, but it's not as obvious. It'll have to install patches, much like when you put a game in your 360 or PS3, it has to patch. If you've never played on there, generally, there's some sort of patch. But they give you like a percentage bar, you know, like you can see what the hell's going on. The Xbox One doesn't do that. It just tells you it's installing and then never lets you see what it's at, which is kind of a problem because a lot of the updates are huge. Like I think Dead Rising had like a 1500 megabyte update. You know, like that's a gig and a half. You know, it just takes a while to do that and you just kind of like, is it even working? I don't know. This one didn't have a big update. I think it was like 300 megabytes, so it didn't really take very long. But then it goes to install the disc, and it does it. It just doesn't do it as well as the PS4 does. And once it's going, and you're great, and you're having a good time. Unless the game sucks, which this one doesn't. So yeah, I just hope that they update that operating system to fix things like that, so that it's just more presentable, you know, and just user friendly without the goddamn Kinect, because I hate that fucking thing. Obviously, I want them to drop that so that they can shave a $100 price tag off of, you know, $100 off the price tag, and more people can enjoy the console. Even the largest proponents of the Kinect, I would think, hopefully, you'd understand that that thing doesn't make itself. It costs money, and if they got rid of it, more people would buy the console that you like. I would think you would want that. I've been accused of some serious fanboyism over the last couple of weeks. Crazy shit. I'll tell you about it in a bit. One in particular. But I've noticed some other issues that I dislike, and other things I do like, so I'd like to continue to talk about that. One is the YouTube app. I was watching a lot of Shen Muso's videos. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I'll link right there. Check out his channel if you haven't. He's a lot like me. You know, he just kind of speaks his mind about shit. He's very well spoken too, but most Britons are. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just watching a lot of his videos, and constantly the Xbox One would stall in the middle of the video. Not the entire console, just the YouTube app. Nothing would respond at all except for the center button, which would snap away back to the dashboard where I could force close it and restart it. And it's not like it was his videos exclusively, like a lot of just different channels were doing it. It just, you know. But anyway, so that's annoying, but hopefully, I'm sure it's patchable. So I just hope it does get patched. Maybe I'm the only one who experienced it. It was happening a lot for a while. Now it seems to have died off a bit, so maybe they already took care of it in some way. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, nothing else has changed in the operating system. It's still a complicated, jumbled mess of fuck that needs to be worked on, and I'm sure they'll do that. So yeah, there's not much else to say there, because once they get rid of the Kinect, which is fucking inevitable, they'll have to update the operating system, because the operating system kind of revolves around the Kinect being there. It's very broken and gimped without it, so that sucks. But on to other things about this console that I've noticed or changed in some way. The controller. I like the controller a lot, but I don't like... There's two things I don't like about it. One is the bumpers. I like the way they were done on the 360. They were like isolated a little bit, and you'd have to click over to, you know, press them. This is designed more to, like, if your hand's supposed to like kind of sit on the back part a little bit more, and you're supposed to like just roll over a little bit. I don't know. I don't really like that as much. It's not like awful. It's just not my preference. But I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, that is my preference. And by all means, have fun, enjoy it. And the thumbsticks are interesting. And I know I'm not the only one who noticed this. They're very nice thumbsticks, but the reality of them is they actually are very good at absorbing your skin. And it doesn't like hurt or anything. You won't notice any sense of pain or like that your finger is damaged anyway. But your skin cells end up getting caught kind of underneath the ridges there. And they have to be cleaned out, like even after a day. You know, you're just like, ugh. So if you ever get one of those used and you notice like skin cell, or if you notice discoloration, it's skin cells. So clean those out. That's not like a huge complaint. It's just because it's my controller, but it's very... Did they try this controller? Did they notice that? I don't know. Whatever. I also don't like that it uses AA batteries, which I mentioned before, and apparently there's a lot of AA battery apologists out there. Sorry, I didn't know I would offend you. I wouldn't think that would be an offensive statement. But it's just my personal preference that they don't use AA batteries. Obviously, if you like AA batteries, you can continue to buy them. I'd rather not do that. So instead, I got a plug-and charge kit, which I basically got for free. I'm not going to tell this story here because I already did in the previous episode of Playload, but the short version is I got Lego Marvel Superheroes for free from Amazon. Then they dropped the price on it, and they refunded the price to me, which was $20, even though I didn't pay anything for it. And then I just used that $20 credit on this, so this was $25 originally, so it became $5. So $5 for the pair, which is a pretty good deal. Plug that in there, and that's all good to go. And of course, it recharges very, very nicely. But okay, other little things about the console. I complained about the PS4 a little bit because turning it off is not intuitively obvious. And what I said was you had to turn it off with the controller, and I couldn't find any way to turn it off with the console itself. There is a power button, but I could only get it to go into idle mode. I think it was a guy named Sylvester Morales who pointed out to me that if you actually hold the power button down for like a good 15 seconds, it'll beep twice, and that means it turned off. And he was right, it does do that. So I do retract that original statement. Trying that theory with the Xbox One proved to be true as well. Holding down the power button for an exceedingly long time does turn the console completely off. However, it is a problem if you have a plug-and charge kit. I didn't notice this when I was using AA batteries, but maybe that's just a coincidence. If I have the console and the controller on, and I turn off the console completely with the power button, the console will not tell the controller to shut off. So as a result, the controller stays on, which is annoying in of itself. But because the controller's on, the controller then sends a signal to the console to turn back on, which, as you can tell, is fucking ridiculous. Obviously there's a feature on the controller to turn the console off in menu. You press the center thing, it'll present you with an option: turn off console or turn off controller. What do you want to do? If you tell it to turn off the console, it doesn't really turn off the console. It just puts it in idle mode. So unfortunately, what you're left at that point is, if you want the console completely off, you only have two ways of doing it. You have to basically tell the controller to turn off and then hold this thing down, or you tell the thing to turn off on the console with the controller and then unplug it. Either way, you're looking at 2 steps to completely turn both items off. And I'm sure that'll be patched too, because that's very weird as a bug. Now, I want to talk about other things I think that Microsoft could do here to make this console a little bit of a better experience for everybody. Obviously, I've been harping on the operating system, which needs to be fixed. And actually, I want to tell you about some of the crazy troll bullshit I dealt with as a result of that. Now, I talked a good shitstorm about how much I dislike the Xbox One operating system. Now, some people are fucking crazy. Fanboys, you try to reason with them, you can't. They're gone. But some of the ones I got, one in particular, I said I didn't like the operating system, but I would like it fixed so that I could enjoy the console more. In this person's mind, it meant that I hate the console, I hate the brand, didn't seem to notice any of this shit here apparently, I hate Microsoft, and I hate video games, and just crazy shit. And I'm a Sony fanboy, and like, I love Sony, and I would, blow every Sony executive I could ever find. Apparently this is the logic of this person, even though if any of you who have been watching my channel know that's fucking ridiculous. On top of that, because I don't like the Kinect and I don't like the operating system, that was this person's big argument, not only should I not have the console anymore, but my channel should be shut down by YouTube, and I should die in a car accident so that my Xbox One is free to go to a more deserving person. Mature guy. That's some of the crazy kind of shit I deal with from time to time. But yeah, so for the rest of the vast majority of you who are reasonable people, who understand that it's okay to dislike certain things about something you still like, so that hopefully that gets improved. You don't have to blindly side with a company you don't even work for and blindly hate another company you, again, don't work for and have no investment in. So the majority of you completely understand that, I'm sure, because you're not fucking nuts. So, yeah, I want to make improvements so that the game console I have is better. Crazy idea. And one such improvement would be greater compatibility between the 360 and the Xbox One. And as much as I would love the idea of Xbox backwards compatibility, like the original Xbox would be obviously very awesome. 360 I can't see them doing, because I think the hardware just couldn't emulate it properly, but I could be wrong. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Like, you have this HDMI in feature. That's unique to this console. No other console has ever done anything like that. Obviously the 360, except for the launch models, have HDMI out. If you could have some sort of incentive for me to use my 360 in my Xbox One, that'd be awesome. Like, even if it was even if it was small shit, like the controllers would become compatible with each other. Like, you can use the PS4 controller on the PS3. I don't know if you can use the PS3 controller on the PS4. Granted, the PS4 controller on the PS3 is a tad gimped. If I could use my Xbox One controller on my 360, or my 360 controller on the Xbox One, that would be awesome. If the consoles could communicate better and just give me silly shit like extra achievement opportunities by playing 360 stuff through the Xbox One, that would be great. Or maybe in some way enhance the resolution, just any little thing, just some incentive, like make us know those products are linked together. And hopefully they'll come up with some sort of ideas like that. I just want to see the potential in the HDMI in feature, because right now it's for TV and it doesn't even do it very well. So that's kind of it. Those are my updated thoughts, and I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later.